Cheers. Hello on this lovely cold February morning. It's sunny at the minute outside, but it's also been very chilly. Cheers. I've got my cup of tea. I hope you've got your cup of tea and you're ready to sit down and enjoy a bit of tea and chat with some poetry and prose from me. I'm Basil. I work in Trowbridge Library. This is my house, and I've got a big pile of books to read some poetry to you from. Okay, well, cheers. I'm just going to have a cup of swig before we start. So, mid-February. Well, that means we must be nearing Valentine's Day. So I thought it might be nice to choose one of the old staples of poetry, which is love. So we're going to do some love poems today. I hope you enjoy them. I'm going to start with one that I know is a classic that loads of people know. I have to say I'm not going to do it in the right accent, but it's called "Oh My Love's Like a Red Rose" by Robert Burns. Oh, my love's like a red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I. And I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun. And I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run. And fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well awhile. And I will come again, my love, though 'twere 10,000 mile. Oh, my love's like a red rose by Robert Burns, a classic love poem. Obviously, much better in a Scottish accent, but I think I would offend and upset people if I did do that. Okay. Comes from this wonderful book which I found on the library shelves when I was looking for inspiration over the last week or so in the library. It's called A Little Loud with Love, and it's poetry and prose for reading aloud to someone you love. You can borrow it from the library if you want to read to your friends or your family or people over the internet, like I am now. It's a lovely book. Okay, just ask for it for us, and you can borrow it yourself. I've got it today, but I will take it back to the library next time I go in. All right. Now, the next poem I'm going to do is one of those ones that got lots of classic themes in it from poetry. We've got shepherds. We've got shepherds um, who the passionate shepherd to his love is what it's called. Okay, it's by Christopher Marlowe, and it's a very sweet one that I hope that some of you will enjoy. Okay, so the passionate shepherd to his love. Come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove that valleys, groves, hills, and fields, woods, or steepy mountain yields. And we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds feed their flocks by shallow rivers, to whose falls melodious birds sing madrigals. And I will make thee beds of roses and 1,000 fragrant posies, a cap of flowers and a kirtle embroidered all with leaves of myrtle, a gown made of the finest silk which from our pretty lands we pull, fair lined slippers for the cold with buckets of purest gold, a belt of straw and ivy buds with coral clasps and amber studs. And if these pleasures may thee move, come live with me and be my love. The shepherd swains shall dance and sing for thy delights each May morning. If these delights thy mind may move, then live with me and be my love. Okay, that's Christopher Marlowe's A Passionate Shepherd to His Love. I hope you liked that one as well. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more realistic, if you like. Also, a very old poem by a composer, poet, and a physician called Thomas Campion, written in the 16th century. But it's advice, I think, to women mostly, actually. This one, it's called Never Love Unless You Can. Okay, quite true to life, I think. Never love unless you can bear with all the faults of man. Men sometimes will jealous be, though but little cause they see, and hang their head as discontent, and speak what straight they will repent. Men that but one saint adore make a show of love to more, Beauty must be scorned in none, though but truly served in one. For what is courtship but disguise? True hearts may have dissembling eyes. Men, when their affairs require, must awhile themselves retire, sometimes hunt and sometimes hawk, and not ever sit and talk. If these and such like you can bear, then like and love and never fear. Feels a little bit more true to life, particularly that last bit. Men might want to go and hunt and hawk, so go out and about, and not ever sit and talk. That's possibly quite true for my gender, generally. I hope you like that one as well. Okay, so that's Never Love Unless You Can by Thomas Campion, written way back in the 16th century. Okay, right. So there's a few love poems. I'm going to have a little bit of tea because it's quite nice to have. Cheers. And I've also got some cake today. I've got a lovely date cake today, homemade date cake. How about that? What do you think? Right, okay. The next poem I've chosen isn't so much a love one, but it is one that one of my friends over in Westbury Library put on their Facebook page the other day. And it's by Emily Dickinson, and it's about hope. It's called Hope is the Thing with Feathers. It's also really, really sweet, and I do enjoy this one. And I think we all need quite a bit of hope at this time. Hopeful that things are going to change, and I think they are. I think we can be a little bit more hopeful there. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, and sings a tune without the words, and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land, and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Hope is a thing with feathers, giving you some hope for the future and equating it to the birds flying free and as well. It's on the American study syllabus, English syllabus. I think it's one of those ones you could probably spend a lot of time analysing, but it's a lovely sort of sentiment, I think. Emily Dickinson's Hope is a Thing with Feathers. Now, I think I'm going to go back to the A Little Aloud with Love. So it's this book I just put over down on my side over here, okay? A Little Aloud with Love. So as well as poetry, it's got short stories and bits of prose in as well. And this is one I saw and I thought was just such a lovely title, I had to read it. It's about 10 minutes long, and the title is called On Seeing the 100% Perfect Girl One Beautiful April Morning. And it's by Haruki Murakami, the top author in Japan. It's very sweet. I hope you enjoy it. One beautiful April morning on a narrow side street in Tokyo's fashionable Harajuku neighborhood, I walk past the 100% perfect girl. Tell you the truth, she's not that good looking. She doesn't stand out in any way. Her clothes are nothing special. The back of her hair is still bent out of shape from sleep. She isn't young either. Must be near 30, not even close to a girl, properly speaking. But still, I know from 50 yards away, she's the 100% perfect girl for me. The moment I see her, there's a rumbling in my chest and my mouth is as dry as the desert. Maybe you have your own particular favourite type of girl, one with slim ankles, say, or big eyes, or graceful fingers, or you're drawn for no good reason to girls who take their time with every meal. I have my own preference, of course. Sometimes in a restaurant, I'll catch myself staring at the girl at the next table to mine because I like the shape of her nose. But no one can insist that his 100% perfect girl correspond to some preconceived type. Much as I like noses, I can't recall the shape of hers, or even if she had one. All I can remember for sure is that she was no great beauty. It's weird. Yesterday on the street, I passed the 100% girl, I tell someone. Yeah, he says, good looking. Not really. Your favourite type then? Don't know. I can't seem to remember anything about her. The shape of her eyes, the size of her breasts. Strange. Yes, strange. So anyhow, he says, already bored. What did you do? Talk to her? Follow her? No. just passed her on the street. She's walking west, and I'm walking east. It's a really nice April morning. Wish I could talk to her. Half an hour would be plenty. Just ask her about herself, tell her about myself, and then, well, what I'd really like to do, explain to her the complexities of fate that have led to our passing each other on a side street in Harajuku on a beautiful April morning in 1981. This was something sure to be crammed full of warm secrets, like an antique clock built when peace filled the world. After talking, we'd have lunch somewhere, maybe see a Woody Allen film, stop by a hotel bar for cocktails. With any kind of luck, we might end up in bed. Potentiality knocks on the door of my heart. Now the distance between us has narrowed to 15 yards. How can I approach her? What should I say? Good morning, miss. Do you think you could spare half an hour for a little conversation? Ridiculous. I'd sound like an insurance salesman. Pardon me, but would you happen to know if there's an all-night cleaners in the neighbourhood? No, this is just as ridiculous. I'm not carrying any laundry for one thing. Who's going to buy a line like that? Maybe the simple truth would do. Good morning. You are the 100% perfect girl for me. She wouldn't believe it. Or even if she did, she might not want to talk to me. Sorry, she could say. I might be the 100% perfect girl for you, but you're not the 100% perfect boy for me. Could happen. And if I find myself in that situation, I'll probably go to pieces. I'd never recover from the shock. I'm 32, and that's what growing old is all about. We pass in front of a flower shop. A small warm air mass touches my skin. The asphalt is damp, and I catch the scent of roses. I can't bring myself to speak to her. She wears a white sweater, and in her right hand she holds a crisp white envelope, lacking only a stamp. So she's written to somebody a letter. Maybe spent the whole night writing it to judge from the sleepy look in her eyes. The envelope could contain every secret she's ever had. I take a few strides more and turn. She's lost in the crowd. Now, of course, I know exactly what I should have said to her now. It would have been a long speech, though far too long for me to have delivered it properly. The idea I came up with, and the idea I always come up with, is never very practical. Oh well. It would have started like this, once upon a time, and ended a sad story, don't you think? Once upon a time, there lived a boy and a girl. The boy was 18 and the girl 16. He was not unusually handsome, and she was not especially beautiful. They were just an ordinary lonely boy and an ordinary lonely girl, like all the others. But they believed with their whole hearts that somewhere in the world there lived the 100% perfect girl and the 100% perfect boy for them. Yes, they believed in a miracle, and that miracle actually happened. One day the two came upon each other on the corner of a street. This is amazing, they said. I've been looking for you all my life. You may not believe this, but you're the 100% perfect girl for me. And you, she said to him, I've been looking for you all my life. You may not believe this, but you're the 100% perfect girl for me. And they sat on a park bench, held hands and told each other their story for half an hour after hour. They were not lonely anymore. They had found and been found by their 100% perfect other. What a wonderful thing it is to find and be found by your 100% perfect match. It's a miracle, a cosmic miracle. And as they sat and they talked, however, a tiny sliver of doubt took root in their hearts. Was it really all right for one's dreams to come true so easily? And so, when there came a momentary lull in their conversation, the boy said to the girl, let's test ourselves just once. If we really are each other's 100% perfect lovers, then sometime, somewhere, we will meet again without fail. And when that happens, we will know that we are the 100% perfect ones. We'll marry then and there. What do you think? Yes, she said. That's exactly what we should do. And so they parted. She to the east and he to the west. The test they had agreed upon, however, was utterly unnecessary. They should have never have undertaken it because they really and truly were each other's 100% perfect lovers. And it was a miracle that they had never even met. But it was impossible for them to know that young as they were. The cold, indifferent waves of fate proceeded to toss them unmercifully. And one winter, both the boy and the girl came down with the season's terrible influenza, and after drifting for weeks between life and death, they lost all memory of their earlier years, and when they awoke, their heads were as empty as the young D.H. Lawrence's piggy bank. They were two bright, determined young people, however, and through their unremitting efforts, they were able to acquire once again the knowledge and the feeling that qualified them to return as full-fledged members of society. Heaven be praised, they became truly upstanding citizens who knew how to transfer from one subway line to another, who were fully capable of sending a special delivery letter at the post office. Indeed, they even experienced love again, sometimes as much as 75% or even 85% love. Time passed with shocking swiftness, and soon the boy was 32 and the girl 30. One beautiful April morning, in search of a cup of coffee to start the day, the boy was walking from west to east, while the girl, intending to send a special delivery letter, was walking from east to west, but along the same narrow street in the Harajuku neighborhood of Tokyo. They passed each other in the very center of the street. The faintest gleam of their lost memories glimmered for the briefest moment in their hearts. Each felt a rumbling in their chests, and they knew, she is the 100% perfect girl for me. He is the 100% perfect boy for me. But the glow of their memories was far too weak, and their thoughts no longer had the clarity of 14 years earlier. Without a word, they passed each other, disappearing into the crowd forever. Sad story, don't you think? Yes, that is what I should have said to her. It's quite a sweet story. I hope you enjoyed that. Chance meetings not quite happened, a little bit sort of wistful, but also quite romantic as well. I've got another similar poem on the same theme, which I also found in this poetry book I found on the shelf in the library. All poems you need to say I do. This is Thomas Hardy. Okay, so good old Thomas Hardy. Faintheart in a railway train. At 9 in the morning they passed a church, at 10 they passed me by the sea. At 12 a town of smoke and smirch, at 2 a forest of oak and birch. And then, on a platform, she. A radiant stranger who saw not me. I said, get out to her, do I dare? But I kept my seat in search of a plea, and the wheels moved on. Oh, could it but be that I had alighted there? What do you think? Another love lost, but maybe not. Nice little romantic gestures, I think, are quite sweet, and especially for this time of the year around Valentine's Day as well. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to finish with one more poem, one that I have done before, which I do like, the sonnets. One of William Shakespeare's great sonnets. It's 116, and I think it's a really good indication of what love is. Okay, and I hope you enjoy this one. Okay, to finish off with. Okay, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments, by William Shakespeare. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks with his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Finishing with a sonnet from William Shakespeare. Hope you enjoyed that, and stay safe and enjoy your Valentine's Day when you get there. Take care and bye for now. See you in a few weeks' time. Bye.